New study finds that cold plunges cut muscle growth by up to 66%. Here we go with the latest controversy and the latest fad. Let's get into it. I love that people find this as new news, that cold plunges don't directly correlate or help muscle growth. Yes, it's true. If you're a world-class bodybuilder, you probably don't want to be cold plunging every single day, especially right before or after your weightlifting sessions, because yes, it doesn't help you build muscle mass. But is that really the only goal? If you're an athlete, if you're trying to live a healthy life, if you're trying to increase your longevity, if you're not trying to have joint pain, all these things are beneficial from cold plunging. So really, at the end of the day, if you think about it, the whole 66% blockage of muscle growth from cold plunging is a bunch of marketing, because the deal is cold plunging has way more benefits shown by research than negatives. I'll chill out just a little bit because this kind of stuff gets me worked up. There's been a lot more studies being done on cold plunging because of its profound effects. It has a ton of internal health benefits that we can all benefit from. Whether you're just an average Joe trying to be a little more healthy, whether you are an athlete, or whether you are a weightlifter, the benefits are real. Here's a few studies just to show, but this one study where it just throws right in your face, man, it cuts muscle growth by up to 66%. Man, it's just a scarcity tactic, so don't let it scare you too much, because in reality, you're gonna get way more out of cold plunging than you are not. I'll tell you what, myself and many others that I know have also realized they're less of a little baby back bitch when they do cold plunges. And here's one more reason to do them. When you wake up first thing in the morning and you start your day off with a cold plunge, you can't tell me you're not gonna dominate the morning and potentially the rest of the day, because you started with something that is uncomfortable for the body. You started with something that is hard, and you overcame a fear, because no one that I've talked to that's cold plunged regularly says they look forward to it. They're excited. You might be able to trick your mind and say, hey, I'm gonna do this cold plunge because my day is gonna be so much better therefore, but no one immediately loves the thought of, oh, I can't wait to dunk into ice cold water. So here's one reason to consider it versus not, because if it's gonna block a little bit of muscle growth, big whoop. But the mental fortitude that it builds from jumping in that ice cold tub of water is profound. I'm telling you, I've been doing it for over a year now, and my days are electric from just jumping in a cold body of water. As a fitness expert myself, I have no reason to be on the side of cold plunging or be against cold plunging. So this is really just the truth, the facts. Cold plunging has way more benefits than not. And when you think of any area of life, there's always going to be a potential downside. When you get in your car to drive to the gym, which I hope you are all doing today, is there a chance you're going to get hit by another car? Absolutely. But is that the first thought that crosses our mind? Maybe for some people, but I sure as heck don't go to that negative place before I get in my car. I'm not going to be in a fearful state every second of the day. And neither should you with cold plunges. You're not gonna lose your gains. You're not gonna block your gains. And we'll get into exactly how to use cold plunges if you do have that slight fear of, oh my gosh, am I gonna stunt my muscle growth? Cold plunges do help with muscle soreness, but can suppress gains if used immediately after weight training.
So there's a negative association between cold plunge and hypertrophy. What that means is that if you lift weights and you just climb right into the cold plunge right afterwards, you actually have less of a benefit from lifting weights, because the cold and the anti-inflammation properties actually stop the hypertrophy.
So for serious gains, avoid cold plunging right before or after your training sessions. Wait as many hours as you can on days that you're lifting, or even better, to really make sure that you're not experiencing any of these dreadful negatives of the 66% muscle growth blockage. Just cold plunge on the days that you don't train. At the end of the day, if you're working smarter, not harder, you shouldn't have to weight lift every single day anyways if you have a good general fitness goal. So just jump in that cold plunge on the days you don't train, and on the days you do train, maybe if you train in the evening, cold plunge in the morning, or if you train in the morning, cold plunge in the evening. Bang, bam, boom. All the pros, none of the cons. So 3 key takeaways from this short video on the latest fad of cold plunges not being good for your gains. 1, don't believe everything you hear on the internet. 2, cold plunges have profound benefits as shown in the studies that we shared right here in this video. And 3, the negative effects are not nearly as big as you thought. They're negligible. Okay, if you're trying to be a world-class bodybuilder, okay, maybe you can avoid cold plunging. But I know many IFBB bodybuilders that even cold plunge themselves. So what does that say? Hey, drop a 1 for me down in the comments real quick if you're an avid cold plunger, and drop a 2 if you've yet to do one yourself. Takeaway from this video is experience the cold plunge if you're not already, and if you're an avid cold plunger, good for you because you're already in that top 1%, baby. That's all we love working with here at Instashred, is those people that really know they're made for more, for themselves, their family, their connections in life, and they live for being the best version of themselves. Thanks for watching. Any further questions you got relating to the cold plunge craze, shoot us a text at the number on the screen here. And if you got any fitness related questions, this is what we do day in and day out, baby. We help people perform at their absolute best, bettering their health, wellness, and body as a whole. Look forward to hearing from you.